What is going on, guys? Sonic and the Bean Show here. Today we're looking at the Super7 SpongeBob SquarePants reaction figures. So I got a pretty good deal on this set right here. This box right here in front of me, I bought this at a toy show recently for just $45, which I thought was actually pretty good. Reaction figures usually go for $20. So if I would have bought this when it first came out, it would have been like $80 since there's 4 figures in here. Plus, this is the New York Comic Con exclusive version, so it probably would have cost more. But I also have the second wave and the San Diego Comic Con exclusive figures as well. So we are going to review all of them in this video since they are pretty basic figures. And I figured I would review these since I already reviewed the Ultimates. But let's go ahead and start off with the first wave. So here's the packaging. So the packaging is, well, what you can see right here. It's the Krusty Krab kitty meal. So it's kind of like a, I guess like a, well, not like, yeah, I guess I could say like a Happy Meal in a way, but like, you know, it's like a kid's meal at the Krusty Krab, basically. But, you know, the Krusty Krab kitty meal, you got like a balloon and anchor, and then, you know, the reaction logo there. The top right here, I would say, I was about to say the other side, but the top, you know, you can see the balloons again, Super7, and then the bottom, you know, there's like the barcode, like a maze right there actually, and like a crossword going on there. And then on this side, we do got the figures. So these are the figures that's in the first wave. There's SpongeBob, Squidward, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs. And then on this side, you know, just a balloon and then a clam right there. And then here is the back. So you got like a crossword quiz going on here. Okay, so I just got the plastic off, and as you can see, I can open this flap up here, and you can actually see something going on up here. So it's like SpongeBob, and then there's like a maze, like a map right here. So you have that, and there's nothing on the insides right here. We got like a rainbow going on here, and nothing on this side. But what's really cool is you can actually see, if I can get that, but you got this right here that says Pipsqueak Patty, and it got like Krusty Krab sort of logo right here, or I guess like the 2 letters. It says reaction figure Super7 up there, and wait, what's that say right there? Oh, it's just Nickelodeon right there. You can barely even see it. Then there's like plankton here at the bottom, and how do I open this? Oh, there's actually tape right here. I didn't even realize that. So there's tape. So then as I open this up, you can see we do have Mr. Krabs. He's like in his bag, and I think that's like his money right there. We're gonna take a closer look at these, but they're like in this plastic bag. It's kind of cool. So it's like it's almost like a Happy Meal in the way, like even the bag kind of gives that off. But we have this right here. I'm probably gonna end up keeping this whole thing like all together probably. And then the other thing we got here, this looks like a treasure chest. Krusty Krab right there, Super7 reaction. And this is actually pretty cool actually. Okay, so I can't really open it from the front, so I gotta like do it from the side. But as we take this one out, we do have SpongeBob right here. And looks like he got his spatula. Yeah, spatula. His Krabby Patty behind him. So we do have that. Next one we have here is, oh, so we got fries right here. So that's actually pretty cool. The side, crusty ketchup right there, and then the bottom is Patrick. So now we have Patrick right there. And then the last one will be Squidward. Put this right there. And Squidward is actually pretty cool. And the reason why I'm saying this is because he comes in like a juice box. And then the side, you got like your nutrition facts right there. That's kind of funny right there. The straw. These are actually really, really cool though. Like that's really unique that they did something like this. I don't know. I really find this really cool. This is like my first time like really seeing something like this. Squidward right here. Right there. Okay, so here are all the figures out of their bags, and we have a couple of problems actually. There's some problems with these figures. I hate to say that because, you know, I was like enjoying myself opening the package and everything like that, and it sucks that, you know, I ran into some problems with these figures. But I will say, like, aesthetically, I think they're not too bad. There are like some weird things about them though. Like I have some corals on them, but I think in most cases, like I think aesthetically, they're alright. So we're gonna start off with SpongeBob. So the reason why I have this, like this, this, what do they call it again? The kitty meal. I thought they called it the crusty meal. And look, I just dropped these guys. But the reason why the kitty meal is here, like right here in the background, is because these figures actually can't stand, unfortunately. They have a hard time standing. Squidward can actually stand on his own. Like if I put him, well, see, now Mr. Krabs is falling, but if I put like Squidward like off from the box, he can actually stand on his own, so he's fine. So here's the SpongeBob figure, and the first thing you'll probably notice is the SquarePants looks kind of weird, or maybe it's really just the shirt. I think the shirt's like high up, or maybe the SquarePants is just too thin, honestly. So that's the weird thing. And his arms are really short though. Like I don't know why his arms are so short. But I think like the expression is okay. I don't think the sculpt is too bad. I think the teeth and the tongue there. The paint's not too bad on this guy. You do have the Krusty Krab hat, but that's actually on the figure. You can't really take that off, along with Squidward. So they are going to be in like their Krusty Krab uniform. Now, the big issue I have here is with the articulation. So, if you're familiar with ReAction figures, their articulation is pretty basic. Most of the time it's usually the arms and the legs, really. Sometimes they may have a head turn, but for this one, so you're really only getting just the arms, and then I guess also depending on like the character or so. But for SpongeBob, it's really just the arms, like the shoulders you can move, and then the legs. So you can move the legs back and forth with this guy. There's no wrist articulation, no hinge to the shoulder. You can't really like turn his head, or like there's no waist cut or anything like that. And there's no ankle articulation either. Now what I did was, when I took this guy out the bag, his foot was actually like turned this way, and I thought there was like ankle articulation, because it was like it wasn't even as this was. Well, when I did that, I snapped the leg in half, and I have mountain putty on it, so I can't really can't mess around with it too much. So that's gonna like pop off, because this I can't turn that at all, and I did not know that at all. And that's not the first time I broke a ReAction figure during a review. If you guys remember the Animaniacs review I did, so that sucks right there that happened, but. Yeah, just keep that in mind. There is no ankle articulation. It's really just the arms, and then the legs are really moving. There's not really a lot of movement out of that either. But yeah, that's pretty much SpongeBob right there. So you have that. Now you do have his accessories. You got the spatula, which for whatever reason it's red, so that's weird. So he can't hold that. But he did come with a Krabby Patty, and it's not really painted at all. And I'm guessing that's for this hand to hold, but I can't really seem to get that to hold him, or to hold the Krabby Patty. Like I just can't really seem to he just can't really seem to grip on it too much, so that sucks. And there's no wrist articulation, so you can't really have it to where he's kind of holding it in another direction. So yeah, that kind of sucks right there. But yeah, that is SpongeBob right there. Now for Patrick. Patrick isn't too bad. I think this Patrick figure is okay. His hand is like that because his accessory is a ice cream right here. For whatever reason, it's like all yellow though. But he doesn't even have he doesn't have a good grip on the ice cream. Like as you can see, I can have it like this, but it's not really on. Like it's not really in the hole as good. See, if I just do that, it just slides out like that. So yeah, it's like these figures have a hard time holding their accessories, which is why they're not really on on the figure. But I think the sculpt on this Patrick figure is okay. The articulation is really the arms, they just move back and forth. And then oh, I thought he did have waist articulation. I guess not. But the hips you can move, so they can only just go forward and back just about here, and that's pretty much that. His feet looks weird because they had to flatten it to make it to make the figure stand, but that still isn't the case because he still can't even stand. So yeah, that's unfortunate right there. So Patrick still can't stand, but I think like aesthetically it doesn't look too bad. I think it's a pretty great sculpt on this Patrick figure. So yeah, that is Patrick right there. Here is Squidward. Like I mentioned, Squidward can actually stand on his own. The Squidward figure is okay for that. But I think this Squidward figure isn't really too bad. Squidward doesn't really have a lot of like articulated figures. So this one is actually pretty good. You know, you have his Krusty Krab hat, which I think looks a little too big on this guy, as you can see. And that's, again, that is on the figure. But yeah, the expression is, well, Squidward really. But you know, you have like his notepad that he can hold. This is just for when you take orders. And then his other accessory is like this pencil right here, but that doesn't have all the paint on there, as you can see. And he can't really like hold it well. I can't even like really insert it there at all. Like, it just doesn't really want to like you know, go there. So I don't know. You can, you know, turn at the head, and then of course the arms can move, and then the legs, which they can move separately, which is cool. But yeah, the Squidward figure isn't really too bad. I don't really have like a lot of issues with this guy, so Squidward is okay. Oh, that just reminded me, now that I'm looking at these, I've noticed that Patrick is short. Look how short he is next to SpongeBob. Like, should definitely be a lot taller than that, so that's kind of weird right there. But here's Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs is okay. They forgot to paint his... Oh, you know what? That reminds me. Patrick... I just realized Patrick, his the green on his shorts, they're like a dark green. I think it's supposed to be like a lot lighter than that. So that's another weird thing on the paint. But for Mr. Krabs, they have his eyebrows and then his nose the same color as like his, you know, his skin really. So they're like all red and not brown instead. But everything else looks okay. You know, I think this Mr. Krabs figure is, you know, it's not really too bad actually. It's probably going to be the best Mr. Krabs figures you'll probably get really. But for the articulation, you know, you have the arms. This one's pretty loose though, but the arms can move. Mr. Krabs is the one that has the waist articulation. He does have waist articulation. I thought Patrick had it, but Mr. Krabs has waist articulation, and that's pretty much it actually. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. He doesn't, I don't think he really need to move the legs like that. But and then for his accessory, it is the, you know, the bag of money right here, which is a pretty nice accessory. But again, I can't really seem to get him to hold that, and I don't want to like try to force it because I don't want to break anything else. So that's my issues I'm having with these guys. But again, I think aesthetically some of them look alright. Okay, and next up is going to be wave 2 of the SpongeBob SquarePants reaction figures. So we have Karate SpongeBob, SkullPants, we got, well, they have a Sponge Guard, but that's actually a primitive SpongeBob. And then we have the Band Geeks SpongeBob figure. The sort of angle is weird here because these figures can't, well, the packaging can't really hold itself well, so they're kind of like leaning on something. But let me show off the packaging. So here is Karate SpongeBob right here. So you can see the figures basically matching the artwork right here. We got the logo, you know, reaction right there, and then the back just shows, you know, all the other figures really. So that's wave 1 that I already, you know, went over, and this is wave 2 right here. You can collect them all, and then you can kind of see Super7 up there, some more stuff at the bottom. So that's that. Here is a closer look at the packaging for SkullPants. It's kind of funny because they, I remember they did the announcement of this getting an ultimate figure. I did like a whole video on that one, and that unfortunately got canceled though, which is insane. But yeah, and then the back, they're all gonna have the same on the back of the packaging. So there's that. Here we have, well, primitive SpongeBob right here. So there's that, and then, you know, the back right there again. And then we have the Band Geek SpongeBob, which I'm actually more excited about. This is always one of my favorite like versions of SpongeBob really. It looks like he's the only one that's getting an accessory here. So yeah, that is pretty much the packaging right there. Okay, so here's the figures out of their packaging, and honestly, wave 2 is actually pretty good. I'm actually liking these a lot better actually, which is insane really, since they're all really just SpongeBob variants, but these are actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I actually do like these. So we're gonna start off with the Karate SpongeBob figure. Now these are actually different. Like, this is a whole new sculpt compared to the one from the first wave. Here's the SpongeBob figure right here. You can see these are like a lot bigger, and they're a little bit longer too in a way. Like the arms aren't short anymore, along with the legs. They still got the paint like weird though on the socks. Like, I mean, they got the right color, like the pattern, like red and blue, but like this one has black there, and it's kind of like misprinted on mine. And this one, it's kind of like a dark blue though, and that one kind of has that too, the skull pants. But they are actually a little bit different. This is probably not a good comparison because his mouth is wide, but like they are actually like a little bit taller and like a little bit bigger, really. So that's kind of interesting right there. But the sculpt on these figures though are really good. Like I think they capture this pretty well. Like look at the sculpt on like the tongue and then the teeth going on there, and even like the inside of the mouth. Like they did a really good job capturing this. And of course you have SpongeBob in his karate gear, you know, that, you know, like the headpiece and then the gloves right there. What's weird is that when you put his arms down, these are going to be longer, so you're not going to be able to have him stand. As you can see, his feet aren't really on the ground, so you're going to have to like put the gloves a little bit higher to have him stand. And these figures don't really have a hard time standing compared to the figures in Wave 1. See, I don't have him like up against you know, the box right here. Skull Pants, I move him a little bit forward. See, he's fine. Primitive SpongeBob, he's fine. But the Band Geek SpongeBob, he's gonna have a hard time standing. If I try to put him, I'll put him like right here. But if I put him like here, he's not gonna be able to stand, which kind of sucks. It's because his feet are like, you know, to the side, and you can't really move them or anything like that. So yeah, that sucks right there. But the karate SpongeBob figure for the articulation, it's the same as the, you know, the other SpongeBob figure. You know, you have your arm articulation there, so you can move at the shoulder, and then, you know, the legs, and that's pretty much that. Really, there's not really a whole lot of range with them, unfortunately, but they're pretty much the same right there. But overall, I do like this though. I think this is a pretty nice looking you know, karate SpongeBob figure. So yeah, they did a really good job with this one, and the SquarePants look better too than the other one. So we have that. Here is Skull Pants, and this one's actually pretty cool too. So, you know, the sculpt around, like, you know, what they did here for the skull is actually pretty good. You can see the mouth, which is cool about the articulation. You can actually move the mouth, which is actually cool like that. I wonder if the Ultimate was gonna have the same feature. But that's really cool that you can actually do that. It has like that click when you do that, so that's really, really cool. But everything else is about the same, like, you know, the arms and then the leg. This one can move the legs a little bit better though, so that's interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much that. It's really the same thing going on there, but I thought the open mouth function right there was actually pretty cool. So that's nice that they got that. Oh, and another thing I actually forgot. I didn't even realize this when I took it out, but they have the splinter right there. So that's a really nice attention to detail right there. Of course, that was from the Splinter episode, so that's cool. Now here's the primitive SpongeBob. Again, nice sculpt, man. It just captures it so perfectly, like how it was in the episode, and they did a pretty good job with that. Nice sculpting here with this piece right here, as you can see. And I really like the leg articulation, how like it still doesn't really break the sculpt as much. Like they did a pretty good job with that, so that's pretty nice. And then the Band Geeks one, which is probably you know, again, my favorite right here. Man, look at that expression. That is just so good. Now this is also sculpted onto the figure, so you can't really like take this off. Along with that one, you can't really take these off at all. But man, this is really, really good. I really like the expression they did here. Like they captured that pretty well. You know, nice ping going on with the gold. Now he does have the microphone, because this is the only figure that has like an accessory here in this wave. The only thing that sucks is, you know, again, there's no elbow joints or no wrist articulation with these, so you can't really put him in a pose to have him like sing. So he's really just holding the mic, because there's nothing, you know, no wrist articulation, no elbow or swivel going on there. So you can only do this. This is probably like the best you can do. So there's not a lot you can really do with that. But again, it's a pretty nice SpongeBob figure. from the Band Geeks episode. I really do like this a whole lot. Okay, now before we move on to the figure comparisons, I wanted to show off the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version. So this is the Best Friends Forever 2-pack. I think that's what they called it. I didn't really bother to open it though, because it's really the exact same figures as, you know, from Wave 1, you know, the SpongeBob and Patrick figure. They're just like in a transparent, like sort of glittery sort of like, you know, variant really. But the packaging is really cool, which is another reason why I didn't want to take it off. So, or I guess open it really. But you can see, you know, we got the SpongeBob SquarePants logo, Nickelodeon, and then right here it says like Patrick's best friend, and then, you know, SpongeBob's best friend, and like the heart shape is like really cool. And you can see that there's like a cut here because they are like separate. So there's this piece that's holding all together. I got something that's holding like the back of it, but if I, you know, like say I get rid of this stuff right here, so I let that fall out, you got like this plastic window right there. So if I move that, you can see we do have the figures. So here's SpongeBob right here. As you can see, like he's like all like glittery along with the accessory, and the spatula is actually like transparent this time. And then here is the back right here, and then here's Patrick, as you can see, and then you can put these together, which makes a heart, which is really cool. And then this is how it looks. It's kind of hard to try to hold it like that, but this is how it looks. As you can see, it says BFF when you put it together. It's hard like doing it with both hands, but that's what the other display window was for, to hold this all together. Okay, so here's a quick size comparison right here, but here's the reaction next to the Ultimate figure. And I know this is kind of a pointless comparison, but I thought I would just show this off anyway, just for those that was curious on how this would look next to the Ultimate figure. Here's another comparison, but here is all of the SpongeBob SquarePants reaction figures next to each other. Well, minus the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but here is the rest of them right here. Here's a big comparison right here. This is just to give you an idea on if you want to know where the Super7 reaction figure scales with the other SpongeBob figures, and if you want to pick it up. So we have the Imaginext SpongeBob right here. I don't really remember what company made this one, but I know this is the one that came with like the slime. We have the Kid Robot one, that's, you know, Super7 reaction, the Loyal Subjects, and that's the Good Smile Nendoroid SpongeBob right there. I think the Nendoroid is probably still going to be like my go-to figure. I think after that was probably the Loyal Subjects. I really love the Loyal Subjects one. And then I think the rest of these, they're okay, honestly. I did like the Imaginext line. The Imaginext line was like definitely really good. I love all the figures and playsets they did. But yeah, this is just to give you an idea of where this SpongeBob figure scales. Alright, and now for your Patrick figure comparison, but we do have the Imaginext one, the Super7 reaction, and then that's the Loyal Subjects one. And honestly, they're all pretty good in their own way. Like, Patrick doesn't really have a lot of like bad figures, and I don't think he has a lot of like articulated figures, at least I don't think of, because these are the ones that I have that are articulated. But you know, Patrick, yeah, he doesn't really have a lot of bad figures. I think I still do like the Loyal Subjects one. I think the Loyal Subjects one is still my favorite, but the Super7 isn't too bad. You know, I think this one's still okay. I think I just like the Loyal Subjects because this one just, it stands better, and it articulates a lot better too. And I'm probably going to come back to this comparison once I review the new Nendoroid. That'll be coming out sometime next year. But yeah, this is a pretty neat comparison right here. Okay, now for Mr. Krabs and Squidward, the only figures I could compare them with that actually had articulation were the Imaginext figures. I don't know if any other company did more articulated figures of these guys. I don't know, because I know like SpongeBob, like with other characters, I feel like Imaginext, I think they had the most like variety of characters in the line, because they were really good. You know, they had a lot of stuff, which is why I was so like, I was all in on the line, because they had a bunch of variety of characters and play sets and vehicles. But these are the only ones I have right here, and you can see, like, you know, they're a lot shorter, of course. But yeah, these are the only ones I could really compare them with, really. But I will say, I definitely do like the Super7, you know, a lot more now. It's nice to have like a, you know, a more modern Mr. Krabs and Squidward figure. But what's really cool is that, let me actually move Squidward and the this Mr. Krabs Imaginex right here. But I have the Loyal Subjects Plankton figure, and he actually scales pretty well with this Mr. Krabs figure. So that's pretty nice, because Loyal Subjects, they never did a Mr. Krabs figure. And yeah, this is actually pretty cool to see. You can still take him off of this thing, but he can't, you know, he can't stand though, unfortunately. He's not going to be able to stand. Alright, so that is going to wrap up this review on the Super7 SpongeBob SquarePants reaction figures. Out of all of these, I think my favorite is still the Band Geek SpongeBob figure. That figure looks really good. I'm actually impressed with that one, but also because that's like my favorite SpongeBob episode, so that could be another reason why I love this one so much. But overall, these figures are pretty decent. Not all of them though. I still think 20 bucks a piece on these is still pretty high on what you're getting here. So if you could get these for a decent price, I'd say pick them up, especially if you really love SpongeBob. I think the sculpt on these are, you know, they're fine. I think aesthetically they're okay, but I'd say like Wave 2, I think they definitely improved a lot more on that wave right there. But let me know what are your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you want to pick these up, you might still be able to find these on Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store, or I guess any other online retailer really. I doubt Super7 would have these on their site. I know there's like a certain time frame when they close orders or if something is sold out. So you could try there, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review, but until then, take care my friends.